them like they come from the gut, they come from the heart. They're not like really like. I don't want to play anyone on the last.
If you're smart, it's actually the road.
I wanted to be people that are close to me, awesome trainers, because they will have a totally different view on this than my view because of their experience. My view is
It was only a matter of time before individuals started stepping out on their own, taking that very next step.
The next time they want to do it. They want to do bridges.
Welcome to the Fit Talk episode 7. With someone I've been trying to get on the show for a minute, but you know, as we know, in training life, we're always busy. So this is my good friend Heyward, aka Supreme Training NYC. You hear him shout out a lot, and it's with valid reason. Reason being, he taught a lot of us. Yo, Big Ben, what's good, brother?
That's my man's stuff.
He's gonna be on a Fit Talk episode probably.
Okay.
Like 11,
He's a
12.
machine too, man. He's got a nice body.
He's a ball piece.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Peace, brother.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for being on. Let me ask you a few questions. The same way I asked all of my fellow brothers that's been on the show a few questions. How'd you guys fitness?
So, you know, honestly, my first introduction to fitness was running from the police because they be auditing us, so we can't do shit. Every time they ride by, we look like we just did it. We got a pound one time. That's how I got into cardio.
Nice.
But honestly, that is honest, you know. But as a profession, you know, just like trying to keep my body right in the neighborhood, we never really had places to hang out and go and get fit like in my new community. So we typically used the don't walk sign, and we chinned up on that, and we did push-ups and ran from the police. And you know, eventually you get caught running from the police, and then things change. So that's my introduction to fitness. You know, a little bit of sports, a lot of bit of sports. You know, basketball, football. I'm a machine. Shortstop. You know, Jeter stole my style. Shout out to Derek Jeter, man, stealing my style, getting paid for it. Right? But yeah, that's my introduction. Something simple.
So what was the inspiration behind that, aside from the community activities?
You know, I'm always an entrepreneur forever, serial entrepreneur, man. Handing out flyers, 10-year-old downtown Newark, trying to get on, you know, fireworks for the 4th of July, fucking hot dogs, the hottie hot dogs. You know, my old school homies know what the hottie dogs are. Like,
they're gonna watch
yeah, they're actually hot dogs. And you know, my dad, self-employed, his dad self-employed. So that's pretty much, if a thing can be genetic, it's genetic. And so fitness for me allowed me the opportunity to express my creative genius through diet and exercise. And then I was able to turn a profit. And I was like, think of that bag right there. That's the bag. So, you know, I kind of like got serious and more informed about it, and just been fortunate, you know, to remain inspired.
Okay. So I've known this guy for about as long as I've been a trainer. It's gonna be 8 years next month.
Means he's getting old.
Man, I'm a young veteran in training. That's what that means. One thing I will say that people don't give you credit for, that I've noticed, is that you made a physical transformation. Yeah, I remember when we started, you were a big guy, and then you started balling, or I'm pretty sure you were balling, but you started balling consistently. One thing I do recall vividly is you had an injury that you really rehabilitated yourself. Remember, you were like, fuck the doctors. That's what you said.
Because most doctors are bogus, son. They come with a lot of education. Right. And education, everybody's educated, right? Slaves left the plantation and became educated, memorizing the Bible.
Right.
I don't need education. I needed information, so that I can make that transformation. And once I got the information, I didn't completely, that was a lot of youth and arrogance that made me say the doctor. My ortho guy is the guy for the New York Jets. The Jets are horrible. Shout out to the Jets for being horrible. Second team in New York, right? And so he's dope, you know, and he told me everything I needed to hear, which was you could do no more box jumps. You could do no more full court basketball. And I was like, word, I'm out. Let me go fix this. You're bugging. I'm way too young to be here and I can't do anything. So,
I remember I saw you doing box jumps.
Just finished doing box jumps. 24 inches.
There you go. So if you don't think that training could rehabilitate you, you're wrong. Talk to me about that logo on that hat. Talk to me about the movement that I see grow in training. Started out with you and only you.
Yeah, now we got,
there.
similar to Frank Lucas, just the right way. You know, I got my cousins in the South, and they keep me in beast mode. You know, shout out Supreme Trainer BA, Supreme Trainer Baltimore. Machines, man, and they're younger than me by years, but they treat me like we're peers. And so I got to maintain a high level of fitness, which represents, you know, the name of the company. Supreme is most high in everything. Don't mean we're the highest. Just mean we always aim for the highest. And there's a lot of arrogance connected to it as well, right? Because we've always been trained to believe we were nothing. To believe that we were second, you know, that don't touch anything in the store, Kanye, right? And so I'm way more entitled than that because of a lot of reasons. My logo, our logo, represents energy's entrance and exit from a thing. And that thing is the S, right? But the energy, as you notice, the S has two openings, one entrance and one exit, because, you know, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes forms. And so none of us can play or shouldn't be that arrogant where, you know, like, I created this. I created Fit Talk. Who else can do Fit Talk? Well, Arsenio Hall, David Letterman, right? Everybody can do it, right? It's a free market enterprise. And so that logo just represents energy, you know, and how awesome energy is. I'm a firm believer in the fact that if you can think of anything, it's probably been thought of by a million other folks that have actually invested sweat equity and resources into furthering that appreciation. And so we're never the author of anything. Anything. Even if you're Elon Musk, you didn't author self-driving vehicles, you didn't author going into outer space. This stuff was here thousands and thousands of years before you, but information got suppressed. When there's a conqueror, then information gets suppressed. And most importantly, we've forgotten how important the woman is. So if the woman ain't important, then Elon, you probably think you're first. Probably 50th. Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the services Supreme Trainer offers. All of the things that's going on, because I know you have a social media following that sees this, but I want more of the social media to see it. What do you think?
So, you know, Supreme Training is, I'm so sorry guys, but we're out here on the East River. It's a beautiful day, the first beautiful Saturday since October, and guess what? I just got distracted. Repeat the question again, please.
Tell us about the services Supreme Training offers.
Got you.
There we go.
Got you. All right, so the services, right? So we're an a luxury American fitness company, right, that specialize in corrective exercise or at-home training, corporate wellness, right, and obviously one-on-one training. That's pretty much what we do. So I do have an ebook. I actually have 4, but you'll get 1 a year. So this current ebook is offering up my top 25 core exercises, starting with a bird dog and taking it to something kind of progressed. It's free, right? You can find that at supremetraining.org. I highly recommend that you go ahead and download it and just execute. Tag me, tag us, and just let us know what you get from
And we'll
it.
mix down the videos and we'll put all the hashtags. Well, not the tags, the ats. We'll put those because now I know how to do it.
Yeah, we only get better, man.
Life is
We'll put
progression.
fun
That's
in-
it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Or
That's
regression.
progression.
We regress
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, this is true. This is true.
We regress.
Hopefully they take 2 steps forward after this. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so dude, we're gonna get into the juicy stuff. What's your opinions about the box gym?
what?
The box gym. We all started. Go ahead. I know you got a lot to say about this stuff.
Let me tell you about the box gyms. The box gyms, right? What would I be? What would you be? We wouldn't be anything without the box gyms, right?
Yeah.
So every box gym that I've worked in, one thing for certain that took me time to realize that I was overqualified. I was overqualified for every box gym I worked in. I was underqualified in the information, but I was overqualified to work for any box gym. Here's why. Because in the hood, we don't have much of anything. We gotta hustle for everything, right? We gotta hustle for everything. So we just be in beast mode on our hustle all the time. And so that portion of the box gym life, I was overqualified. Because that's all I got. All I got is my hustle, you know, and all of the other information came about in time, putting one foot in front of the other. The current status of the box gyms, honestly, you know, we all want our own. We all want to be the boss at Jefe, but I got to tell you, I worked less hours when I was an employee, you know, of locations, not locations, but companies like New York Health and Racket Club, Champion Fitness. You know nothing about Champion Fitness. New York sports clubs. You know, like I learned, what would I be without them? You know, how would I know my clients without them?
We wouldn't be sitting there.
No, we wouldn't. I'd still think that, you know, a true measure and mark of optimum fitness is how many push-ups and pull-ups you can do.
Right.
When that's emphatically no. That's nowhere near accurate, right? So the box gyms, you guys, you know, box gyms get a lot of flack from us in the private world because you probably mishandled your best talents, and that's why we're private. You didn't manage properly. You probably didn't compensate properly, and that's why you lose us and we lose you. How I honestly feel about the box gyms, here's what I think. The box gym is functioning off an antiquated idea that says, you guys work, and I'll take a picture with you and smile, and I'll take the majority of the resources and do no support for your intellectual growth and development, your vacation, your family. I'll mistreat you and I'll absorb all of the dollars out of you. Well, guess what? That's slavery. Those days are over, right? And so how to really fix that is to invest in your best and percentage pay them. Wait a minute, I'm giving you too much of the model. So I'll get back to the box gyms. You can't abuse greatness because greatness is already great without you. And it's going to feel that eventually, and it's going to say, I'm already great. And I'm already not wealthy. With you, I'm less than great, and I'm still not wealthy. I'm out.
Yeah.
I learned that from Mark Cuban.
That's true. I mean, boxers mistreat their trainers. I love how you get into the business model because AB said something similar. His episode.
AB being Alan Brown. You know, Alan Brown, I promised him already, I'm going to break it quickly and get back to business, that I wouldn't mention any names, but since he did, I'll briefly talk about
We can mention his name.
I'll briefly talk about Mr. Alan Brown and anybody else that he mentions. You know, here's a young man that I watched his Fit Talk episode, and you know, you guys don't know what I was doing while I was watching it, but I had tears coming out my eyes. Real physical tears because I know him.
Yeah.
You know, and I watched him grow, and I'm watching him continue to learn and continue to grow, right? And he's like that rose that grew from concrete, you know, and he's a perfect example of highly intellectual being that to this point hasn't gotten the opportunity, the credit that you were talking about, right, to go ahead and really, really show the world what he's worth. Because, you know, TRX, band work, you know, like I knew what a resistance band was. You know, I won't say his name, but I'll say his initials, Mr. JG, who was my fitness manager before you got there. Exactly, Jason Giles, right? Shout out Jason Giles, he's cool. Super smart dude. Jason Giles, son, used to bring cookies for closeout. That's the kind of person he is, right? He always thought about us. And he'll tell you what I said. You're not going to last long because you're not a slave driver. No one brings cookies on closeout. They bring coffee on closeout. Cookies mean, here, fill your tummies. Coffee means stay up. Get to work, right? And so, you know, these are a few of the more influential people, you know, that sparked greatness in me, directed me to the greatness in me, you know,
Alan Brown doesn't get the credit he deserves.
We probably won't, because until, you know, the box gym starts to get a different kind of credit. And here's how the box gyms get a different kind of credit. If I'm telling the story, right? What do I know? I think that the box gyms are going to get a different kind of credit when we own the box gyms. Change the structure. Just get in, change the lot. Don't change it so nobody can get in, but change it where you can go in and out. And you can bring in and out whomever you want. Because I know what kind of intellect you host, but you just don't look like you should host that. And so since you don't look like that from birth, I need you to go and spend $1 gazillion on a piece of paper that says I'm a master of a degree of information from a little place, another little box gym, like let's just say Harvard.
And then we put you in debt.
Forever.
Alright, so since we're name dropping, we're gonna go to the name drop thing. What do you think about talk to us about Will Jackson, Work NYC? I know you know we all know each other, so you know we all shout each other out. So what do you think about Will?
I don't like Will. That's a joke, you know that.
Yeah.
That's my neighbor, man. Myself and Will, we don't run into each other in gyms. We run into each other at like Fairway.
You told me you're like, yo, I ran into Heyward in Fairway.
So we run into each other looking at vitamins. And, you know, like, Will is awesome, man. I mean, first of all, he's got a location on the east side of this beautiful island known as Manhattan, right between Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue, above the greatest marketing location ever. You guys understand it, it's Dunkin' Donuts. He's right above Dunkin' Donuts. The best place ever, right? You get fat and jiggly and come upstairs and I'll get you right. What I don't like about Will is that he doesn't have enough space to really do what I know he wants to do. And I hope that at some point I could be a part of, either on an investor side or as an employee side, to help grow that, you know, to what I know he wants and what I want and what's necessary. Yeah, what's necessary, right?
2 Training.
Two Training.
NYC.
Mr. Tracy Roach.
Yes. Oh, damn.
Mr. Tracy Roach, a really good friend of mine. He's my elder.
Yes.
But if you saw him, you wouldn't know it because, I mean,
he looks dirty still.
The fantasies that's been paraded around throughout history, when you hear words like the Greek gods, those were all fake.
Yes.
Tracy, unveiled, is the Greek god that everybody's looking for. He's a machine, man. He's almost 200 years old, not an ounce of body fat on him. You know? And here's something else about Mr. Tracy Roach that really, really excited me to have a friend, right? Because we were having a talk at the sports club, and we were inside of the break room, and we were talking about money. Everybody always chasing that bag, right? And so Sam was talking about like futures trading and options trading, and I was like, You way too dark-skinned to know this information.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, I know this too.
Yeah.
Let's do something real stupid, like invest all of our savings in a trading company, and let's just go broke or get big. We obviously went broke. We didn't go broke, but we just lost what we had available to invest. But we were trading in the futures market.
While training clients.
Two hood cats monitoring candlestick charts. Two hood cats, son. Watching candlestick charts. We had real money invested, no bogus monopoly money, real capital. And I tell you what, we went wrong. We went wrong because we were trading while training clients. When the right way is to set up your stops the night before, position yourself to win a little, to lose a little less, and dead it for the day. You know, otherwise you're going to get emotional, you're going to get excited, your financial nipples are going to get hard. Boom. Don't delete that because it wasn't a disgusting connotation.
No, we're not going to do it.
It's the same kind of excitement we get chasing that bag. It's almost orgasmic depending on who it is that's doing the pursuit, right? And so that's what I meant by that. Definitely didn't mean to be disrespectful. So that's my deal with Tracy Roach, you know. And you know, me and Trey, we travel. We traveled together, you know. We went to my brother's home in Florida, and he got to see what my off-time life is like, and you know, just an all-around good guy. And I'd like to tie all of us characters in at the end because it all matters.
You know, just for the record, we're all good friends off campus.
We're all okay friends. I'm a horrible friend because I got a business, I got a wife, I got babies, I got a dog that won't come walk out anymore, but I want another dog.
You're not a horrible friend. Don't be horrible.
Right? Fine.
As long as
he said it.
As long as there's social media, we're always in contact. Before Instagram was big, it was big.
Gotcha. Drop me a kite, Trey.
Alright, so I gotta talk about Wayne Mordell Jr. I ran into him the other day actually. Matter of fact, he came out to his happy hour.
So Wayne is my junior by a few years. He's younger than me, that's what that means. But he's my elder in the industry. When I got to the New York sports clubs, he was already there. You know, he was my old timer at the gym. Him and Richie. Shout out Richie White, man. You know, Bruce. Shout out Bruce Winfield, man. Bruce Winfield Whitefield. Apologize, man, for that, but Bruce, old head, right?
You know,
and I remember Bruce saying to me, he came up the stairs. The express line on 23rd Street is where the TRX is now, and I was sitting on the express line, just watching everybody come up and down the stairs. And he came over to me and he's like, "Don't worry, man, you're gonna do good here, man. As soon as you get your certifications and everything, you're gonna do good." And I was like, "What? I'm about to wash this gym up." Because you guys are sitting around talking to each other and I care nothing about being friends. The only thing I needed to do, this is old school New York Sports Club talk, I needed to do my PT business course first. After I finished the PT business course, then I was allowed to go and train, right? And so, yeah, all of those guys, man. Wayne, again, you know, Wayne's been around for a long time, and, you know, I see Wayne a lot because he's private and I'm private, and we frequent some of the same spots. But most rewarding was running into Wayne going for my biannual CPR renewal. And I'm sitting in class and then Wayne comes in. I was like, that's a good sign, man, because a lot of time guys go private, girls go private, and they forget continuing education credits. They forget to renew their certifications, and now they're training people off antiquated information. You know, and every second you spend out of the loop of relevant information, you go light years in the back. So, yeah, shout out to Wayne, man, for staying on point with your business.
One dude that when we always get up, we always talk about you. Wonder, man. You guys are like pseudo best friends.
Yo, let me tell you about Wayne. Wayne is Maine. Jermaine. He's one of those really, really like high yellow, pretty boy, light skinned cats that is like super offensive about everything, defensive about things, just like me. Like, what's that intent? You know, what do you mean by that? And so because of that, we did a lot of clashing in the beginning because we was both the youth then. We were both kids and immature and operating off of a false sense of bravado. But you never realize what you had until it's gone. And so, son went down to Florida for some time. But he was never out of sight, out of mind. I just knew he was in Florida. And in fact, when he left to Florida, I started training one of his clients who sought me out because we all were in the same private facility, right? And so one day I'm in the playground training the client, and I see Jermaine ride by, and I'm like, yo! Like, that was my best friend. And it was genuine. I was happy to see him. He was happy to see me. He bigged me up for what I'm doing. I bigged him up for what he's doing. And it was just like all good, you know, and that was all good. And so big shout out to Maine, man. Maine is one of those guys that you see him and he just looks like a little guy, but he's shredded. He's a machine on the bar. And I won't give all of the secrets, but I will forewarn you that he'll kick your head off and punch your teeth in. So don't mess with him.
You got a little anger problem, man.
Just a little bit. And I just sent him a text a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Yo, son, when the weather gets nice, Sunday mornings, me and you chessboard." Yeah, so me and May.
I'll make sure he answers the phone.
He will. We already exchanged it.
All right, so social media influence on fitness. Social media's influence on fitness. Social media's influence on fitness. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I'm jealous.
Okay.
I'm jealous. I'll tell you why. Because there's two words that we don't hear a lot of. One is social amplification, and another one is gamification. Right? Social amplification happens when, you know, plant-based has 20K followers, and you see some quality content on my site, you take it and share it. Now I'm exposed to your 20K followers. That's social amplification, right? Gamification is something like, hey, we're doing Fit Talk episode 7. Where are we? Come to the exact location where we are, take a photo, tag us in it, and win 2 free personal training sessions. Gamification. It's a game, right? And so these two things are highly influential on the kind of engagement that we get, the way the algorithms, fancy words that just means if you don't understand, if you ain't homie, you ain't it, right? So those algorithms that says that if you got butt injections, I'm sorry, did I say that? Did I say that?
Sure did.
Well, if you got butt injections, then you probably got 250K followers. You know, if you don't have butt injections like me, then you probably have under 2,000 followers, right? And so, but I get it, right? Sex still sells, and even though we understand that equality is to be equal in all things, and that includes the genders, we still sacrifice self and sell self over social media platforms. And so we pay sponsors, we pay for those with the butt injections and the fake boobs. Doesn't matter how horrible their kettlebell swings are. It doesn't matter that they start their squat in Manhattan but their knees end up in Queens. It doesn't matter. Real content. And I don't mean to be mean, because honestly I'll be trying to piggyback off of these big account holders, because, you know, like some of these people get paid. My niece gets paid because of her following.
Wow.
You know, because she's got that large of account, she's recognized as an influencer. And I'm like, fine.
All right.
Because she is an influencer, right? She is an influencer. Why? Because she's being compensated. So what do I think about social media? You know, like, what I think about social media is one thing, but what is something totally different. And what is that we need all of us, all of the people we just mentioned, we need a minimum of 10K followers each. And once we get those numbers, and until we get those numbers, we need to like, comment, and share each other's works often. Because Tip Your Trainer Tuesday was brought about because of my pain. Like, dude, I got Women's Health Wednesday. I'm reading stuff from the Harvard Women's Issues and Cleveland Clinic and John Hopkins periodicals. I'm getting not only pertinent, but information that you guys deem credible because it says Harvard or Yale. I get it, even though I don't get it, because I think that more influential higher institutions of learning happen to be behind barbed wire, and you guys never pay homage to that. And if he is willing to question, and so, but since these are people that we deem worthy of being deemed credit or credible, I draw from those periodicals and give that every Wednesday for women, to kind of fall in the best graces, right? We know what women represent to fitness. They're everything in fitness, because we're stupid. We'll do the wrong thing ever, forever, and won't ever pay.
And then say we don't need help. I don't need a trainer.
Excuse me. Like, son, you're doing a bogus ass 15-pound deadlift wrong. She'll be doing a 5-pound deadlift, and you'll say, "What are you working on today?" "I'm working on shoulders." "Well, it looks like a deadlift." "Oh my goodness, I knew I was doing it wrong." "Are you a trainer?" "Yeah, I'm a trainer." "How much do you charge?" "Well, I really want to give you the numbers because I want your business, but I don't want to give you the numbers because I want your business, right?" And so we talk about it, and I'll free session you or assess you, and then what happens most times is I'm going to start with the 10 pack. That's so I can get to know you.
Yeah.
And after I get to know you, then I'm going to do 20 packs until I die. Because that's just what it is. So social media, I just think that, first of all, social media is not just a digital platform. It's an actual real connection. Right? And if you don't think so, look at 5 people that you know. We just named 5 people that we all know. And check the next 5 posts of yours. If we don't like it, comment on it, or share it, you're looking for certain names like, "Yo, where the God plant-based? Why you don't like this? Why he ain't like that? Oh, he hates it. I'm mad. I ain't talking to him." It's social media, but and there's real-time responses to it. So knowing that, we need to conduct ourselves that way, and like, comment, and share each other's work, even if it's bogus.
Right.
Even if we can talk about what's bogus in the background and to kind of like shape it up a bit, But for now, just share it, engage, increase the engagement. Because once you get that sweet spot, 10K, 20K, 100K, 200K, 1 million followers, then people pay you to make a post. And then it becomes fun social media. Because now I just feel like you guys are always looking at me, being judgmental. You never say anything like, "Damn, his teeth are beautiful." I can't wait for somebody to comment. Say my teeth are beautiful. I gave up my car to get my teeth fixed. I'm joking. You have to tell them my teeth are beautiful.
All right, so Tip Your Trainer Tuesday. All right, we're going to talk about that. First question, would you like to see other trainers recreate Tip Your Trainer Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Y = self. Yes. I just gave you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into how we talk.
Yes.
Right? So, son, Tip Your Trainer Tuesday. Obviously, I would like you to get out of my car and just tip me like you do your cabbie. But I don't want your money.
Yeah.
I don't need your money. I'm actually good. Nowhere near wealthy, but I'm good. I don't owe anybody. All my bills are paid. I'm good, right? And nobody knows me unless you're my client, so I'm perfect, right? Tip Your Trainer Tuesday takes us back a step to social media. Guys, if you have a trainer, I was in Connecticut with Alan Brown and his girlfriend at the time. we're going to get certified for TRX. Even though everything I got certified in TRX, I learned from Alan Brown before getting the certification. Fine, right? But we do these things to make sure that the service that we provide you is the best that we have at that time, right? And we continuously seek to get better by copying each other. I see him do something, I remix it, and he say, nice. Make it better, nicer. Let's keep that going, right? That makes it fun. Clients, you guys have all the influence. You guys have friends, you have family members, you have co-workers, you have collegiate level friends that are in different states and different countries. You know, if you can tag the restaurant you're in, if you can take a picture with the peanut butter and jelly donut in front of dough and big it up as the best donut ever, then why can't you talk about my services? Why can't you go on once a month onto your Instagram or your Facebook or Twitter and say, hey man, I just want to do this with my trainer. You know, he's not the best trainer, he's not the best looking trainer, body or otherwise, but what he is he's punctual, his hygiene is up to par,
Accountable.
he keeps me accountable, his information is beyond relevant, it's always on point. I remember bringing the foam roller out on clients, and the first thing they can connect that to is the pain, and they would run from it. And then 2 years later, Women's Health and Self Magazine started posting it, and then people start saying, it hurts still, but Women's Health said it's good, so I say it's good. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. So Tip Your Trainer Tuesday is about, you know, not paying me extra. You already pay me too much, you know, but just tip me by telling people that I'm dope, or telling me that I'm not dope, so I can become dope, you know. Just like talk about us, man. Like us, comment, share our stuff. You see us on social media, we're posting stuff. You know, stop being a peeping Tom and looking in and then telling me about what you saw on my Instagram during a session, because now I'm beyond annoyed. Don't talk to me about Instagram in the gym. Talk to me about Instagram on Instagram.
Yep. Makes
Okay,
sense.
cool.
Keep the segments relative.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you've been independent for a while. I've recently made the transition, right?
Congratulations, brother.
Full time.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
One thing that I noticed in the boxing to real involved is the quality and education of the trainers has been down.
Bogus.
Down. All the way down. What, you know, you being a real fitness professional, me being a real fitness professional. We're not Instagram fakers, we're real trainers. We've been putting pain in for a while now. What advice do you give new trainers who can learn from this guy? Because I have people that follow me here and they're newer, you know, they're still 1 certain, 2 certain, whereas we're like 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 certain, whatever. Alan Brown's 20 certain. You know, what advice do you give the people?
Don't follow me, don't follow Dennis, and don't follow Alan Brown. I'll tell you why. You never see a Harvard graduate with 20 Harvard degrees. He's got 1 fucking degree, then you go get paid, right? So forget about all of that redundant information, because the bicep curl happens this way. No other certification. Yeah, no. TRX is not going to say go here, and NASM say go here, and ACE say go here. They're going to say bicep curl is going to bring that into elbow flexion. The tricep is going to extend the elbow, and the two can't happen together. You don't need 20 different certifications to tell you that, because each certification going to cost you about $200. 200 times 20 is going to put you about $4,000 in the hole, when you should take some of that money and invest in marketing, take a little bit of other money and invest in bookkeeping, take a little bit more money and invest in accounting, either real people or software. You got Sage, you know, you got ZipBooks, you got MindBody, you got QuickBooks. You know, the best information that I can give any independent, anybody, is, you know, you're in America, you got to pay American taxes. If you think you can make all of this money and not pay your taxes, then you're going to be cellies with Wesley Snipes. You know, you're going to go to prison, and you should go to prison, because how else do we keep our parks and everything else beautiful without our tax dollars? You got to pay it. You know, but what you're going to learn is that there's a difference in what we pay in taxes and what employees pay in taxes, and rightfully so, because we create employment opportunities or earning opportunities for other people, while employees, you get paid for a service, you provide the service, you get a paycheck, you get your taxes withheld, and then you go ahead about your business. And at the end of the year, you'll find out that we took too much, and we'll give you a couple coins back, you know, and then you'll be able to go and get your $5,000 refund and spend $7,000 of that $5,000 and find yourself in the poorhouse all over again. While independent folks, you know, we're responsible for more, so we pay less. I feel like I should go political for a moment. Cool. So, relative to taxes, I know folks want to see President Trump's taxes. You probably don't. You're going to vomit in your mouth to see that he made $11 million and paid $50,000. Because of everything, as a self-employed being, you know, you got more things that you write off, right? And so that's the reason why the taxes are different relative to, you know, wealthier persons paying less and the working class paying more. There's a reason for that, and the best way to get away from that is to get away from that. Do for self, man. Create for self and become a part of what's not a problem yet. Because if more people start doing for self, then the taxes will change.
Yeah.
It'll be less that you can write off. That's how it works.
You know, 85% of population.
I approve of that message, because then all of us would be, who would do the work for you? If, you know, like, so, right? I get it. My wife, a beautiful woman. I won't shout her out by name, but, you know, everybody knows you, Mel, right?
That's the hope.
Everybody knows Mel, right? You know, and she cares absolutely nothing about all of my harebrained schemes. I'm like Ralph Cramden in the house. Every day I got 1,000 new business ideas, and she's like, son, go away.
Are you cooking?
What are we eating tonight? Because I am so tired of hearing about how we're going to retire.
Yeah.
You know, your harebrained scheme. She's totally fine with going to work every day, yawning in front of her computer, getting her paycheck, maintaining our health insurance that I don't use.
Yeah.
You know, because here's how you get away from health insurance. I'm probably getting ahead of myself. Stop eating meat, but I'll get to that later.
What? I approve of that message.
I'll get to that later.
Okay. All right, so let's get right to it. You got ahead of yourself. You jumped in front. Let's go, man. Talk to us. So you are you still eating meat? What's going on? I know you cut back. I know you tried it out. You know, this is me on the personal side of things. You know, this stuff we talk about off social media. We actually have each other's phone number.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Build, you know. So what happened with that transition?
So, my cousin Paul, shout out Paul down in Baltimore.
Big Paul, that's
Supreme
big.
Train in Baltimore.
Big Paul. Looks
You
like
know,
a statue with the shirt on.
Oh my goodness, you gotta see his father.
I saw pictures actually on social media. His father.
I'm talking about with his shirt on.
Yeah.
He looks like Paul. Almost 70.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And so you take care of your body. You have to age because you have a birthday. But getting old, that's something totally different. The length tension relationship between the joints, when that's getting shrinking, and you can no longer move and function optimally, you're getting old.
Yeah.
But if you keep that all proper, you'll be young forever, just till you just get tired of waking up. But the no meat came from, or the vegan life started with Paul, who never participated, but started with Paul. And so myself and Michael, shout out Michael Roberts, Supreme Training VA, right? We kind of piggybacked on his movement and just kept it going. And I recently met on Instagram a big account holder in LA. She's like, yo, I like your stuff. I was like, share me, but whatever. You know, I'm always be begging to go for a ride, whatever. And so she said to me, I said to her, I said, yo, I like your page because in your bio you introduce yourself as vegan most of the time. because that's me.
Right.
The only reason, honestly, that I'm not vegan hardcore all the time, excuse me, is because I have a wife, and my wife enjoys different foods. My wife is Filipina, and you know, we can go back home and find a whole pig on a rotisserie. But because I'm there's gonna be no pig. There's only gonna be fish, fruits, and vegetables. And I so appreciate that because they don't even speak my language. You know, or I don't speak their language actually. They speak the hell out of English. And so that's the reason why I'm not hardcore like vegan. But you know, last night we did legs with my young brother, Pieces Simple Fit, right? And so starving after legs. We went to Lobsters and Burgers. Why? Because we both had lobster. But for me, it was a different experience because we were looking at live lobsters in the tank. And my wife was saying things like, oh, look at the babies. And I was like, do you think they know? Do you think they know that this morning they got weighed and they got put into this tank? Do you think they know that at some point they're going to be chosen and they're going to be steamed and or grilled and then they're going to be cracked open and all of their guts dug out? And Mel said, well, do you think they have intelligence like us? And I said, not in the same capacity because they don't have the same environment. They don't have the same environmental awareness. So no, but yeah. They survive in a different kind of life, you know. Most importantly, there was a time where we were held on blocks and in little glass windows. They said, oh, I like that one. He's cute. He's cute. You're a he. You're about to buy me so I can be cute to you forever? That's how I looked at the lobster. I was like, damn, son, I don't want to eat this lobster. But I crushed them. I dug them all out. Dug them all out like Kanye talking about the blood diamonds, but now I'm at Jacob. You know, shout out Jacob. I knew Jacob before he was the jeweler. Tito, before he was who Tito is, right? He was in the gangster rap era. Wasn't bling bling yet. And so that, for me, I'm mostly vegan majority of the time. Any flesh that goes in my body is fish. But for the most part, I mean, there's no dairy, there's no cheese, you know, there's no mayonnaise, there's none of that crap. None of that crap goes into my body. And again, if it weren't for my satisfying my side of the marriage relative to just completely taking over and being like controlling, I have no desire to even introduce fish to my diet because I'm perfectly fine with how I live. You know, rice and beans, fruits and vegetables, oatmeal. You know.
Do you find it easier, like to food prep and to cook or something?
Yeah. So the first couple of weeks was tough. I knew not. So I would go to Fairway and get a bunch of vegetables and then look at them like, fuck, man, I gotta prepare this. You know, it takes time. And anything that is worth having is worth working hard for. And so while I am probably the proudest American you're ever going to meet, I know it sucks to hear me say that, but I am, because this is the only country on the planet that supports and promotes small businesses. Our taxes, you know, just the ability to speak out against certain things and just pop up shop and all kind of stuff. You don't get that anywhere else in the world. Again, when we have more and more original people taking advantage of that, those laws will change, and maybe I might not be so American then, but for now, because I appreciate that, and with the foresight to make it happen that way, I appreciate and approve of that message. But what we've become is a colony of beggars. You know, we fight for things like, why don't you give me health insurance? Why don't you give me a few more chips for welfare? You know, those things make my hair stand up on my arms because those things just further create slaves. And I'm not talking about black slaves or white slaves. I'm just talking about slaves. You know, a mental slave to a dependency on something being given for free. And, because of that, we don't prep vegetables. We don't appreciate spices. We don't enjoy fruits like olive. We don't enjoy that 1-2 punch with bang, the fruit that is the olive and the oil that is the good fat. We don't appreciate that 1-2 punch. But what I can say is that I don't wear deodorant anymore. I never have a bad breath day anymore. All because and my mental is a lot healthier, right? Because I don't know how angry I'm going to be later tonight because I put a stressed out lobster in my body last night that's fused with formed an osmosis and brought all of its stress. If you have your claws rubber band together and you're underwater, how do I know you can swim that way?
Yeah.
Right? And so that all creates stress. We ingest that stress. We recreate that stress, right? Energy. Neither created nor destroyed. It just changes forms, right? So, if my wife said to me right now, babe, I don't want any flesh in this apartment, I've been there. I've been ready for that life. Long, long time ago. So, it's prep work. But, yeah.
All right, so last topic. I'll talk about. One thing that really binds me and you and AB together is the corrective exercise aspect of fitness. Right? And this is one thing that I don't see with the Instagram community.
You never don't see it.
There's no focus on form. There's no focus on correcting things that are wrong. What do you think is the relevance of corrective exercise in people's daily habits in society? That's the hard question.
Actually, it's a really good question, right? Yeah. Because Dr. Clark created NASM, with a specific focus on what you guys do in your everyday life, right? You do exactly what we're doing right now. We're seated, right? Which means our hip flexors are bound to that position. And so we leave the seat of our workplace, and then we do something really cool, and we go sit down and have a nice lunch. More stress on the hip flexors. Then we go and do something super cool. I'm gonna give you a shout out, even though I don't approve of your message. We go do something super cool like Soul Cycle. Right? We're getting fit. We're not getting fit. It's just It's just a thing, right? Because we're continuing that dysfunction, right? And because you're reaching,
It works.
now you're a silverback with a manicure. Because your long, weak back muscles cause you to meet me with your knuckles. And when I, just the trainer, tell you that, you say, but it takes so much work to do this. Right? And so there's a whole line of energy system that gets interrupted when your posture is off. So when you see me hold up a sign that says mind your posture, so that you can be more civilized, man. When your posture is horrible, you start to reflect the monkey, which has no connection to those energy systems. That seventh chakra, right? That's a totally another topic. It sucks that I only have 10 hours in this interview. I feel like Mark Zuckerberg.
You're gonna come back for a future episode. You know that.
Okay, cool.
You know that. We do more than one.
Corrective exercise is one of those things now that's become a fad.
Right.
Because there's a wealth of information that you can get really quickly, which will give you a degree, right? Or it'll certify you in a little bit of information at a relatively little bit of time, small amount of time. But it's the application of that information that allows you to be introduced to true mastery and how to, to correct human frailties, because we have to promote and participate in the lifestyle.
Right.
Or else how do we participate in life?
Right.
Right? And so if that's constant, then corrective exercise specialists have to be constant. And what I think actually needs to be done is a bit of a progression from what we've learned through NASM with corrective exercise. Because think about it, right? NASM is super duper popular because of big box gyms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? When I started in the New York sports clubs and I was first introduced to corrective exercise as a specialty certification, through the New York sports clubs, it was discounted, right? And that's exactly what I got. I got discounted material. I got a few chapters. Right. I thought I was a corrective exercise specialist, but I wasn't.
Right.
I had no clue of what I was lacking because I was only given a portion, right? And so what needs to happen is what's next. Right. There's a lot of next that is never talked about. We can talk about them when we shut off the camera, you know, because I totally agree with and support secret society. You know, some societies have to be secret until you get ahead. When you get ahead, you can reveal certain truths. I don't think that all truths deserve to be revealed, you know, immediately. Right? What's the economy of cotton in the South post Eli Whitney's invention of the cotton gin? It changes. It changes, right? And so, but we don't reveal that information until later, even though we're all standing right here, right? Time manipulation, right? Shout out Stephen Hawkins, man, for teaching me how to manipulate time, how to bend it, curve it, and be standing in the same spot.
What's next for Supreme Trip? What do you have on the horizon? Anything you're working on right now? Anything you're telling people about, or just wait and see kind of thing?
I got the biggest mouth ever because, you know, I really do have friends, but I always say that I'm the worst friend because I don't have the time to invest in growing the friendships more than where they are currently. But I do have good friends and some really, really, really good influencers in the business. I mean, everybody from the owners at Hype Gym, you know, the owners of the independent training spot, you know, Recover is their new location. Hype Gym got a new location in Union Square. These are all friends of mine, people that I've spent personal time with, you know, and just learned from. And I just don't have the time to really commit to having more to grow, to make me better. I know I can get better, have to. What's next in the industry for me? Right now I'm begging for money. I'm begging for money. No GoFundMe. No GoFundMe. Even though that works. I know a crew that actually went through a platform like that. I think they like lime green and black is like their colors. Something like that. However you get that bag, get that bag. However you get it. Just do the right thing with it. You know, do the right thing for it. Right? You know, if you take my saying, do whatever you got to do to get that bag to mean sell crack or kill somebody to get it, then that's what I meant. You have to pay.
Choice.
You'll pay for that, though. But what I really mean by that is like, earn your keep. You know, earn your keep. Change the rules. Old antiquated law says go to school, get good grades, so you can get a good job, so you can save some money, so then you can retire. Eat, delete, and trash that. That's all bullshit, right? That's all talk that is used to keep you in an employee status and to keep you poor, because no mentioning in there is there to life, living. There's no mentioning of life in there, right? And so what I would recommend is that you do all of what I just mentioned. Instead of saving, This is digital. It's dark too because you guys are a little mushy right now and sensitive, but whatever. Don't save your money. Invest in your immediate family, your mother, your father, and your siblings, life insurance, right? Because the market is volatile. And the ups, you never get any money from it. The lows, you get stressed out about it, right? You never earn from the top, and you get afraid at the bottom. Meanwhile, the banks get paid the entire time. One thing that you know is going to happen, your mom is going to die. Your dad is going to die. Your brother is going to die. Your sister's going to die. So invest in their death by investing in their insurance so that when they die, you not only walk away with the memories and what they taught you, but you also walk away with the financial resources so that you can then go ahead and invest in self. Right? So
keep it going now. Think about it. It's a cause that if you attach a positive connotation to it, it'll work. And it's a way to give it back. Even if they couldn't get back to you in that fashion. Because we've been born into our current selves and our physical being here, and a lot of us had to be the first guys to break that poverty trend or whatever the case may be. We have to go and put the footwork in. You know, it's on us. So whereas some other people.
How awesome would it be for all of who we talked about, all of the people that we named, to be sitting at this table and agree that we're going to buy the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. Just those two for now. And, but we need $300 million. And it's 6 of us. And each of us are going to go home after the talk and say, yo, Dad, I need $50 million so I can have my percentage. We're going to buy the Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge. And then my dad said, you're fucking up this money. You better do the right thing this time here. How fucking awesome would that be, man? Even if you fuck it up. I got it. I got that bag. We don't have that. We grow up chasing the bag, get old chasing the bag, and die without the bag. So before you die without the bag, I'm going to invest in your life so that when it's over, then I can say, you know, I was able to get $100,000 for my mom, $100,000 for my dad, but now my son can get $250,000 for me, and his son can get $500,000 for him, and his son can get $1 million for him, and now we up. It's called foresight, man.
No, it's good. I mean, these are the type of talks to think about that they probably have. And we're talking about that. That's a great way to end the Fit Talk episode 7.
Thank you so much for having me. You appreciate it.
You for the time, man. It's always hard to build with you and live with you, and it's a good thing it's not 5 a.m.
Yeah, because we be going to work. I told Mel I was coming to sit with you, and she was like, "Ooh, he gonna be on the Fit Talk." Everybody's excited. Everybody's excited about what you have going on.
I got asked like 3 times, "What's up with the show? What's up with the show? What's up with the show this time?" I haven't filmed in like a month, so I was like, you know what? The weather's breaking, and I know this is gonna be a good episode. And I haven't, like, you know, because of the transition with the private thing, going fully private, and then also me sorting out life goals, man, because it's like, I really want to stay, but I also really want to go. I want to go somewhere else, and at least there we can also have an influence too, because fitness is big.
Somewhere else like where?
Oh, okay. Or the West Coast, you know, spread the message, man.
Speaking of Florida, we just opened a location in Boca Raton, Florida. It's called Extensions. Extensions. The ultimate stretch. Someone was asking me about what I have in what I'm chefing up right now. Yeah. I'm begging for money because, you know, I know that if I have some resources to propel my ideas into something real, you have no clue how civilized my model is, man. My model is built on civility. There's no savagery in me or in my model, and it's in my room right now on my whiteboard as I speak. You're not invited in my bedroom, though, to go and read it. But my wife and my son can read it and tell me this is bogus or this is dope, you know, and you know, I'm not gonna bash the big box gyms because I never want to be a big box gym because it's built on savagery, right? And it's built on that retire at 95 concept. You know, all of my coaches know how we talk. Not my coaches like they work for me because we all work together. We're all one unit, right? But I say my coaches because I talk the most because I'm the oldest, right? But we always talk about 2-year vacations while you're still earning off of our labor.
Right.
Nobody talks like that, man.
Right.
If you can share an Uber, if you can share a bag, if you can share, not a bag like a bag of crack, but a bag like a Gucci bag.
Yeah.
If you can share a coat, if you can share my wife, then we can share economy, not how the revenue is made, but how the revenue is split, right? So I made a tweet, and then we'll go ahead and close like you said, but I made a tweet the other day during the second day of Mark Zuckerberg's trial in front of the committee. I watched all 10.5 hours. I think he did awesome. Shout out Mark Zuckerberg, man. Those mere mortals, I mean, how could they? Why would they? How dare they? Man? You should have popped them on the hand, man. They had no clue of how to conduct themselves in front of genius, right? And so, right. But my post on Twitter said, you know, we talk a lot about a privacy policy that's already written.
Right.
Clearly, you morons didn't read it.
Right.
Shout out to all the morons that didn't read it, right? And we'll never read it, even after your stuff's been exposed. Here's what I'm concerned with. Facebook is a free platform,
That's fine.
right? It's not free for us because the privacy policy is in place in a way and in a manner in which they can use who we are, what we do, what we like, what we buy, and sell that off to advertisers who micromanage or micro market based on that data. Well, here's the problem that I have with that. What if we were compensated by Facebook for hosting our profiles on this platform? So say we got like 5 cents for a like, 10 cents for a comment, and 25 cents for a share every time you participated in those. It automatically registered to your account. And let's do this using blockchain technology so that we can see that it's all transparent, there's no bogusness in them, right? We can see where it started, see where it ended, and continue that way and continue to grow Facebook. Advertisers can still get their ads, and all of the participants of the platform can get paid in perpetuity along with Facebook. They'd have to create a Facebook coin. Fine, I'm okay with that. You know, that was my tweet. No one liked it because foresight doesn't get the same attention as hindsight. And so when Elon said, you know, you can actually drive to work and never touch the steering wheel, and people said, They were fucking knuckleheads. You know, like, we're not trained to have foresight. We're trained to say, I thought of that. It's not worth anything now, you know? So,
In closing,
again,
you know, we talk a lot.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you have genius on the show.
yeah,
The conversation's always going to go.
horrible.
I'll never have you and AB on the same show at the same time. We'll be here for like 4 hours.
I'm older than AB, and he's a man filled with respect for what he respects.
Yes.
And I know that he respects me, and so he might let me talk a little bit more than him. But yeah, maybe, because he's so smart. He's so smart, man.
Yo, I loved it. Everyone was like, yo, that was the longest episode ever, man. I could have watched the whole thing.
I cried.
Hell, man.
Because he's such a man, son. He's so much of a genuine person that, you know, he was talking about his life, and I felt like, fuck these people, man. Nobody has forget about what they think. They don't have a right to know you.
Yeah.
Not like this. Take him out to dinner, sit down, feed him, put some drink in his belly, burn something if that's what you into. But you can't just get my life for free. But he did that, and I was like, yo, man, he's like one of the dopest people I know. You know, and I never tell him that, but after seeing that episode, I was like, man, and I know the story before the episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, the new Donna Summer show, and you're like, what, she lived in Germany?
Yeah.
I know his story way before Fit Dog was ever a thing.
Yeah.
And to hear it given to the world, I was like, man, dope. Word.
We all need to get together. This in closing, Fit Talk episode 7. First step, single first step. And what is fitness is not a what? It's not a luxury.
It's not a luxury, man. It's a lifestyle, man. That's what it is.
I love
man.
that quote, man.
It is.
Thank you so much, G. Once again, I will shake your hand. Thank you for making the time for me. Peace.
Thank you for having me on.
Salute to the social media. And get up off your ass and start exercising. Peace.
Peace out.